Football is finally over. Christmas is around the corner.
So is New Year's. This is our final show this year on SoCal Prep Report. I'm Randy Rosenblum. Yes, it's our final show, and I am a little bit depressed. I'm excited about the new year, but the fact that prep football is over, I'm down, Tarek Fatal. It's over. The season's done.
I am excited about the season being over, man. I'm tired. You can probably see it on camera. I am ready for a little bit of a downshift between now and Christmas. And then, as you well know, it's full steam ahead with hoops from literally December 26th through the middle of March.
Hardy Nickerson. So, Tarek, a hearty welcome for Hardy Nickerson, the new football coach, former NFL star, played for 4 different teams, including Tampa Bay. There he is in a Tampa uniform at J. Sarah. So now the Trinity League is going to get even stronger in prep football.
Yeah, first to tweet, first to report with a story. Your boy Tarek Fatal. I think did I tell you? I mean, we had known for a few weeks. Yeah. Look, I think it's from the surface level, we're going to have to find out if he's any good or not, to be honest. But on a surface level, it's a great hire. A little bit older, 60 years old, clearly a lot of football knowledge. The key is, can he siphon that knowledge into a bite-size form that teenagers can then put onto the field? Carson Palmer was able to do it with his staff. Can Hardy Nickerson do it? So, we'll see. They just won a state championship. He was the head coach at Bishop O'Dowd up north, so he knows how to win.
That would have been my point. He obviously communicated with the students up north.
There you go.
Shouldn't be that much different down here. And he's from here, prepped at Verbum Day High School before going to Cal, and 16 years of excellence in the NFL. The Trinity League. Here's a question for you.
Sure.
Are they ruining prep football in SoCal? They're getting all the top talent. They're getting now NFL coaches out of the NFL league, former players. Are they just too good for the rest and leaving SoCal behind?
I actually think quite the opposite. I think with the power shift of Santa Margarita, I think the more young, talented football players that generally end up at St. John Bosco or Mater Dei, now some will go to Santa Margarita, some might come to J. Sarah now. So you'll actually have a spreading of wealth in the Trinity League, which, yes, as a whole, the Trinity League's always going to be better than everybody, but I don't think anybody has a problem with that. But when you have a little bit more of an even spread out of talent, it makes those teams a little more beatable on any given Friday night. And we saw that this year. So I think it's good.
It's good from a competitive aspect in the Trinity League, but the rest of Southern California and even Northern California is far behind. Why is Northern California so far behind? Because the Trinity League now has won 9 straight state championships. Santa Margarita, the latest to do it, humbling De La Salle, who had come in with a 12-0 record. You can see the numbers, 47-13. Again, it was the electrifying Trent Mosley, who was just named the Max Preps Player of the Year in California.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best player in California. He missed some games, but when it comes to impact winning, he came back October 10th, and they only lost 1 game since that point to St. John Bosco. So that was it. He's a standout player. This Santa Margarita team is deserving of all the records and all the accomplishments they're going to get from any publication around the way. They're not going to be national champs, that's for sure. But, hey, man, to your point earlier, you said it might be good for Trinity League. Listen, this is a team that won everything and had 3 losses. So my point is that the parity is there.
They got better and better throughout the year, and it starts with their quarterback. I know Mosley's great. He had 11 catches in this state final and just has big play after big play. But Trace Johnson, who transferred in from Florida, improved mightily down the stretch, hit his first 10 passes in the game against De La Salle, and he was stupendous, Tarek, at the end of the year.
Yeah, the thing with Trace Johnson is he got better. He came on later in the year. Now, listen, let's be honest. The common denominator for that, Randy, was Trent Mosley. This is how good I mean, look, we're watching it right now. All he had to do was turn his shoulders and throw the ball 20 yards to his right, and Trent Mosley did the same. He probably scored in the last, I'm telling you, since mid-October till mid-December, so that they played 8 games. I'm telling you, he probably scored a handful of touchdowns, half a dozen touchdowns, just like that. So it makes Trace Johnson's numbers look a little better when you can just pitch and catch and and just watch the guy do the rest.
And this is against a good De La Salle team. The Spartans, again, came in 12-0, finished 12-1, obviously. For the Eagles, they improved to 11-3. And again, you mentioned it, they're not going to be national champions. They lost too many games early in the year. They did come on, and right now they might be as good as anybody in America.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would say that they could beat anybody right now, but, it's a full season. I couldn't even tell you who their 3 losses. Their 3 losses
are Centennial.
No,
they beat Centennial.
They lost to Mission Viejo,
right.
Bishop Gorman, and St. John Bosco. Those are their 3 losses. Pretty good teams. And the Mission Viejo was week 0, and I believe it was week 0, and the score was like 7-3 or something like that, right?
And the Centennial game, the first time went into overtime.
Correct.
The other thing is they'll never jump ahead of Gorman of Las Vegas because they lost to them head-to-head.
Correct.
So they could never move ahead of them in the national polls.
Right.
Lots of highlights. Last question about the game, because you were there at Saddleback. Jaden Jefferson, the outstanding running back, had a couple touchdowns for De La Salle. How great a player is he?
Yeah, I mean, he's just lightning fast. I mean, you're talking about a high-level athlete, high-level speed, breakaway speed. But the problem is when you don't have a lot of green grass to work with because the defense is so suffocating, you're not going to see a lot of fireworks. So that really wasn't the case. Anything he scored was kind of like moot, to be honest. So it was a dominating performance from the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles, it starts with defense. Shout out, too, to their defensive coordinator,
Steve Fafita.
Steve Fafita, who was the head coach for a while last year. Okay, the next game, Folsom. This is a terrific football team over Cathedral Catholic out of San Diego. And again, I know these aren't teams from our area in Southern California, but we put the game up because we felt going in it would be a tremendous showcase for prep football. And Rudnicki, the backup quarterback for Folsom, played over Lyons, who was injured, who was the star quarterback, and he went crazy, and Cathedral Catholic couldn't handle him.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fun matchup because you had it's odd. This matchup made me feel like it could have been an open division type game. Lots of talent, lots of fireworks, lots of high-end speed and defense. So it delivered.
Falave Johnson, a tremendous running back, had a big game for the Dons of Cathedral Catholic, but not enough. Brady Rudnicki, that quarterback up north, big game, 4 touchdowns. And a huge win for Folsom and another state championship. All right, next game. This one stings. Pacifica of Oxnard going for the undefeated season. Central East, Fresno. I said on this show last week, teams from Fresno normally don't deliver. Not this time. Central East puts up that magic number of 42. A lot of teams had 42 this week, and it beats Pacifica.
Yeah, I think this was a closer game than the 2 touchdowns the final score presents. It was back and forth. There were runs between each team. There was really great plays, great third down conversions, maybe even a couple fourth down conversions from what I remember. But look, man, I think at the end of the day, these 2 teams are really, really good. These teams play 10 times. You get a 5-5 or a 6-4 kind of result. They were very, very evenly. It was an even game.
Brandon Smith was the big name there for the Bengals. That team from Fresno, 144 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Taylor Lee, the brilliant junior quarterback at Pacifica in Oxnard. Again, he'll come back, obviously, with another season. He really improved this year, threw a couple touchdowns, got picked off a couple times. But what a year for Lee in his second year as a starter. Started part-time as a sophomore, full-time this year as a junior. Lee and that team from Oxnard figured to be very, very strong again. A lot of good juniors, but not quite good enough to get by a very good Central East team out of Fresno. Next game, not again. What happened to our big team from SoCal? I know on this program a week ago, we felt that Sonora was the favorite. But you believe Rio Hondo Prep could get it done because of their their heritage, what they've done over the last 3 years, winning CIF championships.
Yeah, I just think eventually you don't have your star player and no opinionary in the biggest, baddest, everything, winner takes all kind of game, and they just couldn't get anything going. Sonora was by far the more physical and better team. They had different weapons. They could do it in different ways. So kudos to Sonora. I would say not exactly a small school, about 1,000 kids, but a small town. And so in a way, they were, in a different way, they are the same kind of when it comes to the ethos of the schools. Rio Hondo Prep, small school. Sonora, small town. So really a community feel with both programs, which was pretty cool to see them clash.
I always feel the team that runs the football better in any football game has the better chance to win.
Yeah.
Rio Hondo Prep's running game got shut down, and I know Noah wasn't there. But as you look at these three names, Brady Spear, Cash Byington, and Tommy Sutton, although Sutton didn't eat up a lot of real estate, he did score 3 times.
Close yardage,
Those three running backs built up the yardage, scored touchdowns, and Sonora dominated the game.
Yeah, I mean, I just think this team seemed to have been the favorite. Everyone knew that Rio Hondo Prep's dream season was going to come to an end, and it did. So kudos to Sonora. I do think Noah Opinionera maybe makes a slight difference, like a touchdown difference or something like that, but I don't think he would have delivered them a victory.
Wildcats finished 15-0 there. Let's move ahead to our next state championship game. Another one that stings. I was on the Ventura bandwagon. And look, here it is again, 42 points. The magic 42. Maybe it's for Jackie Robinson. You get to 42, you
get the win.
You get the W. Ventura put up a lot of points. St. Ignatius put up more.
Yeah, this was a fun story, Ventura, with the father. I want to say Tim and Derek Garcia, the coach and the quarterback.
Yes.
And so, a really fun year. And again, we've talked about this on the show. Ventura County tends to have some good football and from time to time some great teams. But this year they had a really good year. Grace Brethren won a CAF championship. Ventura won a CAF championship. Pacifica won their second straight CAF championship. And then you got 2 finalists in the state championship. But unfortunately, both of them lost.
Yeah, Cougars had their 10-game winning streak snapped in that contest. Derek Garcia did throw for a couple touchdowns, better than 200 yards. Terrific running performance by James Watson, over 150 yards. He got in the end zone on a couple occasions as well for the Cougars, but it wasn't the offense that was the problem. You allow 42 points, you're going to lose most games.
Yeah, no question. I think there's, something about these final games, if the talent is somewhat equal, it's just about want to. Everyone's tired. Everyone's a little banged up. Someone's missing from a lineup. There's a gap somewhere, and it's all about how you can patch that up and figure out a way to win the final game of the year. You got to give it everything you got, and Ventura just simply didn't have enough, and that's okay. Another
one that stings, our Beckman Patriots, all the way to the state final, but El Cerrito was waiting and knocked them off handily, 34-12. Patriots had a great year, but again, overmatched in the state final.
I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, but if there's one thing the CIF Southern section, if I'm being honest, doesn't do a great job of, it is finding ways to get their best teams to represent the section. And so what ends up happening is teams like Santa Margarita, okay, they get through, but you get really good teams like St. John Bosco and a team like Corona Centennial that made the section final.
How about Mater Dei?
Yeah, they're sitting Sierra Canyon. I think first round you're probably not going to make. But if you're a finalist in the which is arguably the best tournament in the country, let's just take Corona Centennial. Let's leave aside Mater Dei and Bosco for now. But Centennial probably deserves a bid into the state playoffs after being a finalist. So my point is the Southern section probably needs to come up with a formula where they can find ways to get a couple more top end teams into the state tournament. Wouldn't you agree with me?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But they changed the rule, making it only champions. So if you don't win a section title, you can't go to the state.
So you get the Division 14 and 13 teams. And so what section's going to say is, well, we don't want to sacrifice the smaller programs for the big dogs. And it's like, well, how about a year like this where the Northern California, the way that Northern California sections do it is they want to try and find a way to have their best teams represent their section. So you actually get better teams in the North at the end than in the South. And this is the result. The North wins almost every game.
I agree.
Yeah. I just, something worth noting.
A shout out too to Mackie Zakowski, that great running back at Beckman. Wonderful senior year. Probably not going to win state player of the year honors. Maybe be all state. That's a possibility. But he did everything for the Patriots all season long.
He'll be CIF player of the year.
In his division.
Yeah, that's a nice nod.
Yeah,
it's
that's nice. I agree with that. I just happen to like the name. Zakowski. Sounds tough. He is. All right, next state game we want to talk about. I don't want to say it was a dogfight. But it turned into a brawl at the end. It wasn't much of a game. Again,
it was more
team
like
from San Francisco won it easily.
A dogfight, but it was more of like a. No, it wasn't much of like a Rottweiler. It was more like Pomeranian. Yeah, man. I mean, not only a blowout city, but just it got sour at the end. I don't know. I'm gonna look over my shoulder here. Do we actually have any footage of the end? Okay. Okay, here it comes.
Of course we do.
Well, I just want
you know that Larry on the final show of the season, he's gonna flex his producing muscles.
It's my guy LZ, dude. LZ knows what he's doing. Yeah, man, this sours the whole thing. Look, the game's over. There's a minute to go. Technically, they had to call the game, so the game technically didn't finish, although it was over, right? But yeah, man, no awards ceremony, no championship ceremony for the final game of the year. My colleague Mitch Stevens was actually at the game. I wrote a story about this, and he sent me the interview, and their coach, the Balboa coach, talked about how both communities were gang. Did you read the story by chance?
Yeah.
Like both communities are filled, with gangs, and we're just trying to keep these kids out of jail and above ground. I mean, it was a little.
This little.
It was a little dramatic.
Skirmish was above ground.
Yeah.
But that's about all you can say. It really wasn't much.
It was more of a little brouhaha. Totally agree with you. And I think what's scarier, and we mentioned it before the show and on my show on Monday nights, the Fattel factor was some of it spilled into the parking lot. Now that can get a little dangerous, right? But it sounds like nothing happened. And again, it just sours it. It sours the whole thing. And both teams represented not in a tasteful manner.
Mekhi Smith, though, did have I want to mention Mekhi Smith.
Yeah, no, he's a stud.
He played for the Buccaneers and had 4 touchdowns, and so give him some credit. There was football played. It wasn't just a battle at the end there. The next one, again, SoCal takes it on the chin. Woodbridge of Irvine. Now, Reading Christian is a really strong program. They didn't lose any football games this year. They had a magical season. They went undefeated. The Lions. They just moved up from 11-man to 11-man.
Oh, from 8-man. Oh,
yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
3-4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Reading Christian. So it's been a rapid rise in Reading. So give them some credit. Woodbridge had that magnificent finish to the season after starting 0-7.
Yeah. Again, I think you get to the end of the end of the year and you're doing all kinds of film work and prep work. I tell you what, from these coaches that tell me at this time of the year, Randy, when you're still practicing, you're doing very little hitting. You're just trying to stay healthy. You're just trying to make sure that your guys have a pulse by the time you get to this game. A little bit of X's and O's, and that's it.
You're doing a little bit of hitting, unless it's Balboa in South El Monte. No, sorry about that.
A little bit of barking.
A little barking there. A little fisticuffs, a little going at it. I like that. You do impressions now.
I'm just saying, it was such a nothing burger. You're calling it a dog fight. I'm just like, yeah, sure. But it was like little dogs, like dee, dee, dee.
Connor McBride, coach out at Woodbridge. Great job after the 0-7 start, even though you fell a little short in the state.
Wait, say that again?
Connor McBride.
The coach?
Yeah.
He's out?
No, I'm saying great job.
Oh, I thought
even though they're out,
sorry,
they lost.
You say maybe, they're out. Got it. Sorry. I thought I was like, oh man, they let him go? That's how fleeting.
I thought my hearing was the only thing that was going.
My apologies.
No, you never have to apologize. It's time for Point Counterpoint. Always an exciting topic on SoCal Prep Report. So Tarek Fattel, what's the biggest story, since this is the end of the year, in the calendar year, what's the biggest story this season in prep sports?
The money, man. I mean, I have to say it. It was a nice little feather in my cap. I broke the story. We had Brett Stye, the money man, on my show, Fattel Factor. He talked about paying football players and families to play high school football. It's something we've known has happened for years, decades even, right? In one way, shape, or form. And yet here's this man saying $50,000 plus expenses, house, well, I'll pay for tuition. all on the record, all, for the public to hear. And that certainly was a story that I think will be talked about for years, because finally someone came forward and said, yeah, this is happening. And it's happening at a lot of different places. Now, the way he does it is quite sloppy, but there are people that still do it. And that, to me, is a story that's going to live on quite well. I think it was, not to mention Bishop Montgomery shutting down their season and all those kids becoming ineligible. So quite the story with many layers.
Can't argue with it. Tarek might have the right side on this one, but I want to give some shout-outs again, using that word extensively today. Certainly Carson Palmer. I want to keep it on the field. Palmer out of the pro ranks in the NFL to do a great job in football. But the other one, I think the story of the year is Braden Burries of Roosevelt Eastville, the basketball player, magnificent senior year. They had a tight game against Notre Dame in the finals of the CIF Southern Section. He erupted in the second half to make it a little easier for his Roosevelt team to win. Then they go to the state final against Reardon, Archbishop Reardon. He scored, 44 points. I'm boring Tarek now with normal high school stuff. Braden Burries, the story of the year.
So you're okay.
I took a different route.
Yeah, you did.
Completely.
You did.
Not
so
a good
you took
route.
The story of the year of 2025, not like the prep year. That was last prep year. It's December.
But it happened in March.
So okay. I was under the impression story of the football, story of the year, this football year.
They both count.
I didn't know you meant the calendar year.
I said the calendar year.
Did you?
Hey guys, did I say calendar year? Nobody's listening back there.
Honestly, I'm having a hard time. I'm running on fumes, man.
I think
I'm sure you did, because I'm halfway here. So right now.
Well, you're right there. And he looks good today. I think. By the way, I like that.
No, you might have
sweater.
said calendar year. You might have said, but I was under the assumption you meant best football story of the year, because we're talking about the wrapping up of football.
So I did mention Carson Palmer. Does that count?
Yeah, of course.
Just edit.
Then,
we're going to edit in the show right now. Edit out the Braden Burries stuff. I'll go with Carson Palmer.
No, it's fine. I'm not.
I want to
hammer
appease
you.
Tarek. Speaking of Tarek Fatal, let's talk about Tarek's factors. The Tarek factor, the Fatal factor. All right, I'm going to get a couple of topics here, and I just want
rapid fire a little bit.
It's as much as you want. We got about 8 minutes left.
Okay.
Top high school player this season in football. Obviously, Trent Mosley.
Oh yeah, for me, player of the year guy is Trent Mosley. However, I want to give an honorable mention. It's got to be Lenny Ibarra.
I agree with you.
1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving, more than 100 tackles, 4 interceptions, Division II champion. Pretty good year in regard to impacting your team.
And kickoff returns, he does everything.
Come on, man. Impacts winning on both sides of the ball at a very high level. Pretty good.
No, Lenny Ibarra would be maybe my guy.
Yeah, that's
And Mosley missed time.
When we're talking, so that's the hard part is the games played. So that's why it's hard not to pick Ibarra. My last add on Ibarra is the fact that when you're talking about the high school football player of the year, he's probably it. In regard to level and prospect, Mosley's special. It's a toss-up.
Okay, next question on here I have your team of the year.
Ooh. I'll go Rio Hondo Prep.
Really?
Yeah, just three years in a row. It's almost that same team. So it's almost like the team of the last 3 years.
Over Santa Margarita?
Yeah, because I'd give Palmer coach of the year. I don't know if you're gonna ask me for coach of the year, but team of the year. Hold on. Here's why. Santa Margarita. Let's not put halos on Santa Margarita. They had themselves some imports. Catawanga's an import. Vandermaid's an import. They had some.
Fafita's an import.
Thank you. That's Fafita's an import.
He went there to play for his uncle.
So my point being is team of the year to me is Rio. They're there's no transfers, a true team, a community team, 3 CIF championships in a row, beat Redondo Union, beat all these kinds of big public schools. That's the team of the year. Santa Margaritas are great. They accomplished a lot, but they had some help.
We just woke Tarek up. He got fired up. He was
but are you with me on that?
You were drowsy.
I need to know if you're with me.
I like Pacifica.
Okay, that's a better pick than Santa Margarita.
Yeah, they were undefeated until the state final. All right, next, who will be great next year? Who's your top team next year?
Ooh, Pacifica's probably a good pick.
Lee's coming back.
Phelps and Lee. Isaiah Phelps is their guy.
I know.
They'll be pretty good, and I actually think St. John Bosco will be pretty good. So I really like the Pacifica pick. They bring back their quarterback and their best player.
But you don't think they're going to be better than this Trinity League team?
No,
You just think in their area they're going to dominate.
I think they'll be like right there in D2, D3.
Okay. Since we're ending the season right now, and Tarek loves basketball, there was a huge event in prep basketball, which you mentioned could happen last week. A guy by the name of Jason Crow playing for his dad. He's junior, senior's the coach at Inglewood. Now the all-time leading scorer in Southern California history. And you were there.
Yeah, I was there. Gosh, I forgot our show. Yeah, anyway. I think we were, okay, I know what happened last week. Yes, he was there.
We taped early. We can tell people.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say, we taped early before it happened. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man, 3,600 and some points. He passed Tunde Yesufu. 21 years it took someone to break the top scoring record. Tunde Yesufu finally did it. Only 9 months later, Jason Crow Jr. comes along and does it.
Didn't Jared Lucas do it a few years before
Southern section.
Okay, he was Southern section.
We're talking about the state.
Okay, but it does remind me of Jared Lucas and his dad, Jeff Lucas. Very similar relationship.
No, that's good. No, like at the section level, yes. This is California. Okay. So, yeah, so Jared Lucas, yeah.
Gary McKnight next up on our docket here.
9 million wins.
No, just 1,300, and that's what he reached. That's an unreal total. It's second all-time historically anywhere.
And he's got a long way to
number one in California. Huh?
He's got a long way to go.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He's got about 30 victories to go.
I think it's more than that.
No, I got it written here.
For what, California or all time?
All time.
Oh, I thought it was more
than that.
He's
number one in California. He's number 2 all time. Got you on this one. Finally.
Who's the guy? Did you write down who the number one guy is?
Yeah, I do. I got it right here.
It's from the guy from
Robert Hughes.
From like DeMatha or something.
No.
Oh.
Texas.
Okay.
Now, here's the number, if I wrote it down right, 1,333.
Okay.
So
something about that doesn't seem right. But
I'm thinking McKnight's going to have about 13, 15. He'll need about 18 wins next year.
He's going to, their team is, they don't have a very good team this year.
No, that's why I don't think
he might need 2 seasons. That's a good call. He's probably going to need 2 seasons and a couple playoff wins. So their team might be like, they could drop down to like 2 AA, maybe 1, and get a few other playoff wins. Maybe qualify for the state playoffs.
But it's hard to imagine 1,300 wins. That's insane, don't you think?
No, it is. It is, yeah. I mean, I think it's more than that for some reason. I don't know why I think that number's not. I think he's yeah. But it sounds like you're right. I don't know.
Why would I lie?
I'm not saying you're right. Where did you get it from?
Online, which is no guarantee.
I don't know. No, you probably got the right info. I thought it was another guy, but you're good.
Program reminder on this beloved LA 36 channel. We got to finish up this calendar year with football, right? We have the Gridiron Classic All-Star Games, West LA College. Girls flag football, north-south at noon. And as you can see, same alignment at 2 o'clock. And I know you love the Kennedy quarterback that's playing in the boys' game.
Diego Montez. Yeah, there's going to be some good city section players. I recommend everyone get out there. West LA College. That's this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, get out there for the 2 games. Have a little fun. Maybe there'll be a little food there. I don't know if they have, like, concessions or, like, a food truck out there or anything like that.
I haven't been there in a long time. I will be calling the games. I have Darren Fitzgerald, the coach at Verdugo girls, doing the girls' game, and Chuck Price will do the boys' game. Of course, Chuck worked with us our football package.
Okay, cool. No, I mean, it sounds like a good team, and they'll be good. Who are the coaches?
I haven't written it down yet.
Got it.
Darnell Miller's going to play in the game, though, the fine running back from Santee who had well over 2,000 yards this year.
Is Jim Rose coaching?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I don't think so. So that's it. Done with the list.
Hold on.
Don't throw yet. We got about 45 seconds.
Hold on. Can you reach your paper?
Yeah, I can. I got to wrap this up. You want me to throw on our final show?
Yeah, you do one toss. Let's see. You never toss.
Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Yep. Happy New Year. Tarek,
I got nothing.
Gio, Larry, we had a fun year.
We'll see you in
We'll be back.
We'll see you in 2026.
See you next year.
First week of February.
Well, what's that old movie? Same time next year? Same time next
let's
year?
see. Let's see it. Come on.
Oh, you want me to throw it?
Yes.
This could be ugly. Not too bad. All right, your turn. Go ahead. Right on. All right. Tarek is the winner. We'll see you next year. Enjoy the holidays.